Well, howdy there. How are you doing today? Namaste, all that good stuff. We're going to be doing a little bit of spirituality talking today. Isn't that just wonderful? And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the Ashtavakra Gita. Ashtavakra Gita, excuse me. It, it's a shorter scripture. It's a shorter Hindu scripture, and it's probably one of my favorites. It's one that in many ways I find more interesting than even the Bhagavad Gita. Even though I would say, and don't get me wrong, I very much enjoy the Bhagavad Gita, but the Ashtavakra Gita is one that I personally find speaks to me in a different kind of way. They both speak to me, mind you, just I feel like a hoplite when I use this. They both speak to me, mind you. It's just one tells me something that the other one hints at, but does not give me the whole story. Something about the way it's presented just fits so perfectly. It makes so much sense to me when I read it. And so we're going to go up here to this Storm Hill Shack and we're going to talk about it a little bit. I will be honest with you, despite having read this numerous times, I've never really looked into the backstory of it. The words were always enough. What more do you need when clear language breaks through the barriers of ignorance and just kinda speaks to you on a certain level, you know? Sometimes things just fit in a way that is difficult to explain. But God gives us all little different things on our paths, and occasionally we find things that just click, that just give us what we seek. So here, I'll have the blowing trees as a background for this. So, I'm going to read... I don't have the whole thing here printed out. I have parts of it printed out, and usually I have a audiobook version of it on Audible that is very good, and I also occasionally just read translations. I've been meaning to get a physical translation for a while, but it's pretty short, and I often just like to have the audiobook, but So this is chapter 1. Janaka said, Master, how is knowledge to be achieved, detachment acquired, liberation attained? Ashtavakra said, To be free, shun the experiences of the senses like poison. Turn your attention to forgiveness, sincerity, kindness, simplicity, truth. You are not earth, water, fire, or air, nor are you empty space. Liberation is to know yourself, as awareness alone, the witness of these. Abide in awareness. With no illusion of person, you will be instantly free and at peace. You have no caste or duties. You are invisible, unattached, formless. You are the witness of all things. So that's just the first 5 verses there, but I really... Just in that short bit, it's something that's always like kind of clicked with me, especially the fifth verse here. You have no caste or duties. You are invisible, unattached, formless. You are the witness of all things. It's very interesting to me because I like Hinduism. I like the philosophies within Hinduism. I've read about quite a few of them. Kashmiri Shaivism, Advaita Vedanta, Devada Devan. How do you say it? Like the dualistic schools, non-dualistic schools, the qualified non-dualistic schools, Kashmiri Shaivism. I've read all kinds of different stuff. But the thing that always comes back to me is this idea that if you are the formless, then all these duties, all these things that we place on top of ourselves, they're actually just, there. They don't mean anything intrinsically. It's kind of interesting when you like read about emptiness in like Buddhist sutras. or like I've been reading a lot about emptiness and like Vajrayana Buddhism, and it's interesting because the more I've been studying about emptiness, the more I realize that it's actually kind of fullness. It's an interconnectivity. That's what it really. I mean, that's what emptiness is really talking about. It's talking about how like there's no individual essence that is the thing. All things are interconnected and independent on one another. You find no thing that like, for instance, since I have a shield here, you find no shieldness thing. You don't find like a shield that is in here. It is not separate from like the metal and the gold and all, well, in this case gold, that goes into making it and all these different things. It's very very interesting. And what's kind of so weird though is that this is kind of going on at the same time that I've been reading a couple of different fiction books like Blood Meridian a little bit, and it's kind of weird how like all these different philosophies kind of click in a certain way once you like look at them as each their own individual thing, and then kind of look at them in the grander scheme. What are they all saying to each other? Like the thing that's very interesting to me about emptiness is that if you examine everything and you find that it's all empty, like there's no pure essence of this tree, right? Like you just go through, it's like, well, okay, so what is a tree made of? A tree is made of leaves and bark and all these other things. It's like, okay, but the leaves are dependent on the bark because the bark protects the inner workings of the tree. You couldn't have like any one separate part of this tree. That you couldn't just have the leaves. The leaves couldn't just float there. They're dependent on all the things around them. And that's just kind of like a really really simplistic way to analyze emptiness, and to not get into the whole thing of it. But that's interesting is like we use the term emptiness, but in truth, what it's really talking about is the interconnectivity of all things. And if you're looking at it from a Hindu perspective, you would actually call it the fullness, because all things are interconnected and all things have the same ultimate source. And you might call that source emptiness, you might call it God, you might call it Brahman, you can call it a lot of different things, but they're all ultimately connected. And that's kind of like really interesting to me. And oh, actually, and I just realized that because of the weird way it printed, the fifth verse is actually, you have no caste or duties, you are invisible, unattached, formless, you are a witness of all things, be happy. So there's a little be happy at the end there. Right and wrong, pleasure and pain exist in mind only. They are not your concern. You neither do nor enjoy. You are free. You are the solitary witness of all that is, forever free. Your only bondage is not seeing this. The thought, I am the doer, is the bite of a poisonous snake. To know I do nothing is the wisdom of faith. Be happy. A single understanding, I am one awareness, consumes all suffering in the fire of an instant. Be happy. You are unbounded awareness, bliss, supreme bliss, in which the universe appears like the mirage of a snake in a rope. Be happy. And I do find this kind of interesting, because this is one of the things that, especially the sixth verse here, the one that starts with right and wrong, pleasure and pain exist in mind only. They are not your concern. You neither do nor enjoy. You are free. Because the ultimate truth of things like Advaita Vedanta, on some level, would imply that right and wrong are merely perceptions. That doing these different actions, it's that you're trying to do these different actions to attain a result. But what if the result is already there? It's very fascinating to me, and I really, really like the Ashtavakra Gita. I kind of mumbled that, but Ashtavakra Gita. Vakra. Is what I say to that. It is true what they say. You are what you think. If you think you are bound, you are bound. If you think you are free, you are free. You are self. the solitary witness. You are perfect, all-pervading one. You are free, desireless, forever still. The universe is but a seeming in you. Meditate on this. I am awareness alone, unity itself. Give up the idea that you are separate, a person, that there is within and without. You have long been bound thinking I am a person. Let this knowledge, I am awareness alone, be the sword that frees you. You are now and forever free, luminous, transparent, still. The practice of meditation keeps one in bondage. You are pure consciousness, the substance of the universe. The universe exists within you. Don't be small-minded. You are unconditioned, changeless, formless. You are solid, unfathomable, cool, desire nothing. You are consciousness. That which has form is not real. Only the formless is permanent. Once this is known, you will not return to illusion. Just as a mirror exists, both within and without, the image reflected, the Supreme Self exists both within and without the body. Just as the same space exists both within and without a jar, the timeless, all-pervasive one exists as totality. It's very interesting because you know, I think about this verse here, 1:11. That's the first, obviously first chapter, 11th verse. Silly. It says, "It is true what they say. You are what you think. If you think you are bound, you are bound. If you think you are free, you are free." And I go back to the Dhammapada, which you know has that very famous line: "All that we are is the result of our thoughts. It is founded on our thoughts. It is made up of our thoughts." And so, like, if you have righteous, and I'm just gonna paraphrase, but if you have good thoughts, I just, yeah, very craven. I will take this jellyfish because I like jellyfish. Love is good. But, you know, like the idea becomes like if you have abusive, painful thoughts, it'll follow you and cause pain. And if you have thoughts that are righteous and good, then pain doesn't follow them. You know what I mean? It's very interesting to kind of like have these uh, things just feel so related in a sense. And it's like as I go through like the Dhammapada and I go through the Ashtav Ashtavakra Ashtavakra. I'm silly. Ashtavakra. Ashtavakra. It's not that hard, but for some reason my brain was like Ashtavakra Gita. It's interesting to see all the connecting lines. I find that the more I've searched texts and the more I've gone through all of these things, the more I find similarities and find connections. I think these things are much more connected than you might think on an initial read, and if you really study them and notice, there's like a constant pattern to a lot of it, especially among like the prophets and sages. and especially among like the really important ones like Jesus Christ and Buddha, and obviously they are not all saying the exact same thing. I would not say that, certainly. I think they have various different kinds of, I don't need to slice that wolf. They have like slightly different methods and means and things like that. But I think that there is connection in these religions and their messages more than you might realize at an initial glance, you know? And that's something that I personally find very interesting. Especially like when I look at the mystical traditions across various different religions, I find that it seems like there's quite a bit where these are connected. And this is chapter 6 here. I am infinite space. The universe is ajar. Oops. This I know. No need to renounce, accept, or destroy. I am a shoreless ocean. The universe makes waves. This I know. No need to renounce, accept, or destroy. I am mother of pearl. The universe is the illusion of silver. This I know. No need to renounce, accept, or destroy. I am in all beings. All beings are in me. This I know. No need to renounce, accept, or destroy. I really like that part in particular because it's like no need to renounce, accept, or destroy, because I have found more in my spiritual journey that renouncing things while it can be useful on some level, you have to understand that all things are ultimately made of God and are of God in a sense, even the things that are seemingly so impure. That's part of the reason I like the Agoris so much. They realize that how can there be impurity if all things are one? How can there truly be impurity? How can there truly be sin? How can there truly be any of these things, right? There you go, man. Have some runes. But you know, and like it's very interesting to like look at that and see that, like, you know, there's no need to renounce, accept, or destroy. Things just are. And you know, especially the more I've read about this and Taoism at the same time, it's very interesting to see. Let's do the Sacred Sword just for something a little different. I still don't have any miracles equipped. I need to equip my miracles. But you know, like if you are ultimately like this infinite space and you are connected to the consciousness, then in some sense all things have been allowed. Now there are certain things that especially when you're not enlightened, it makes sense to avoid, and there are certain things that make sense to just avoid and think about. But like ultimately, the ultimate truth is that all things simply are. They are these manifestations. Just manifestations. And you need not have any like strong opinion towards it or like one way or the other. You don't need to accept, renounce, or destroy. They just exist. They just are. It's like how there are so many things out there in the world that we detest in other people. Like, you know, like there's lots of people out there who don't like homosexuals because they say it's against their religion or anything like that. But if you just stop and think, it's like, well, that's part of God's creation, right? How does that make any sense? You just gotta accept, just let them be. But you just gotta kind of let everybody be. Now, if you're living in the world, I think on some level that is not necessarily the most appealing thought, right? Because then you're like, well, wait a minute, does that mean that it's not worth trying to change things? Does that mean that everything just is as it is and we should just leave it like that? And on some level, it would be like, yes. Now, That's not to say that you can't change things at all and that you cannot choose to act, but the ultimate enlightened being realizes that all of these things, they just kind of are. And that, like, changing them, not changing them, keeping them this, you know, they just exist. They just, hey, you're silly. And it's very, I don't know, it is very wonderful when you, I think it's very wonderful whenever I think about it. It feels very, blessings of the Erd Tree. How do I have no regular heal? Oh, that's alright, because I just have the... I just gave myself the... When I first made this character, I just gave myself the miracles for the build. Blessings boon and things like that. And I'm going to go just a little bit further. Actually, no, I'm just going to hang out in these crystals for a second. I don't think I'll get... I might get attacked here. It's fine. Crystals are pretty. And this is chapter 7. Tanaka said, "In me, the shoreless ocean, the arc of the universe drifts here and there on the winds of its nature. I am not impatient. In me, the shoreless ocean, let the waves of the universe rise and fall as they will. I am neither enhanced nor diminished. In me, the shoreless ocean, the universe is imagined. I am still and formless. In this alone I abide. The self is not in objects, nor are objects in the pure and infinite self. The self is tranquil, free of attachment and desire. In this alone I abide. I am awareness alone. The world is a passing show. How can thoughts arise of acceptance or rejection, and where?" Oh man, that last one there is really, I really like it. I'm awareness alone. The world is a passing show. How can thoughts arise of acceptance or rejection? You know, it really is. It's kind of this passing show, and like sometimes it's very funny to me because I don't take a lot of what happens in the world very seriously. It's hard to at a certain point because it's like once you really realize how silly Billy everybody is and how they're all...
Hello, please.
Here, I will help you, Snake Lady.
My mistress said I was a... Could I ask that thug me only if you've... Oh, what a blessing. A thug should be... Please.
I will go get you your necklace. I will not kill him, though. Well, hopefully. Hopefully I won't have to. But yeah, just... Oh, Deathbird. I always forget that this thing is here. Hey. Don't you get me with your beak, sir. Sir! Thank you. Oh, wait, no. It's, there's a shack. Man, I love... It's actually very interesting. I have done this meditation before where I've just, like, sat and just imagined myself as the waves in the ocean. And it's really cool, man. Hey, I hear you have prawns.
What are you looking at? You trying to start something? Ah. Show me, and I'll consider part. I'm not in love. You're a shrewd one first. All right. Things no damn used to any. Your bloody idea, mate. Don't. Oh, pig. Oh. All right then. I could be persuaded to sell you some other.
Gib.
sod that it ain't my fault she's stupid enough to get due. Anyway, lucky she ain't. You're tarnished too, ain't you? Can you see it then? I can't see it at all no more. Makes no bloody sense anyway. Cruel bloody joke, you ask. Maybe something with your tree, I'm saying. Never met
In
someone with a taste for prawn I couldn't trust. We'd make good mates, I reckon. I'll be seeing you.
I do find it funny that he's just like, if you eat prawn, then you have to be on the level. If you eat prawn, you bring the dawn. It is like very interesting because like the more you look at the world, it's like, oh well. A lot of people get really sad at the world, but I'm like, well, it's just a world full of silly billies. What were you expecting? It's always like kind of fun to just like watch and just see what are they gonna do next. Oh yeah, that's crazy. And it's like if you study history,
Please. Oh, yes. Thank you kindly. Did I forget to announce? I am Raya. I seek. You are very brave yourself, but a steady heart, such strength. Please.
yay.
Brave tarnish, most tarnish. But you are no ordinary tarnish. The volcano manor will fully.
Yeah. Volcano Manor. Everything has to be a volcano. But yeah, no. It is very interesting to think about all this stuff. And this is chapter 19. With the songs of truth, I have plucked the thorn of thinking from the innermost cave of my heart. Where is meditation, pleasure, prosperity, or discrimination? Where is duality? Where is unity? I abide in the glory of the self. Where is past and future, or even present? Where is space, or even eternity? I abide in the glory of the self. Where is self? Where is not self? Where is good and evil, confusion and clarity? I abide in the glory of the self. Where is sleeping, dreaming, waking, or even the fourth state? Where is fear? I abide in the glory of the self. Where is close or far, in or out, gross or subtle? I abide in the glory of the self. Where is life and death? Where is world and worldly relations? Where is distraction and stillness? I abide in the glory of the self. There is no need to talk about the three ends of life. To talk of yoga is purposeless. Even talk about truth is irrelevant. I rest in self alone. This is also kind of interesting because we frequently hear people talk about detachment, but this is true detachment. Detachment from even like talking about like the nature of self or the nature of any of this stuff. It's just true detachment. It is saying that, you know, no matter what happens or not, I'm going to abide in the glory of the self. I'm going to abide in the glory of God. And you know, it's like it's strange because if you can do this, I personally found that attempting to meditate and abide in the glory of the self, I feel this intense love and acceptance of all things. And you know, like the love is maybe kind of it's more like a motherly kind of love, you know, where it's just like, well, you know, no matter what happens, it's just kind of like what happens. And these things have a lot of health. Cool. Oh, that's where I wanted to go. You know, and it makes you realize that the truth and like God and all that is beyond any one religion. It is in truth beyond all things, and it's just really cool, man. Not a mean Jimmy Dean. Oh no, fart gas. Let's see. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. No, it looks like if I keep going basically this way straight. We'll hang out in the water here for a second. I have just a few more pages to read. Yes, okay. This is chapter 20. Liberation in life, Janaka said. Where are the elements, the body, the organs, the mind? Where is the void? Where is despair? My nature is transparent clearness. Where is scripture? Where is self-knowledge? Where is no mind? Where is contentment and freedom from desire? I am empty of two-ness. Where is knowledge and ignorance? Where is I? Where is this? Where is mine? Where is bondage and liberation? Self has no attributes. Where is the unfolding of karma? Where is the liberation in life, or even liberation at death? There is only one. Where is doer or enjoyer? Where is the origin of or end of thought? Where is direct or reflected knowledge? There is no person here. Where is the world? Where is the seeker of liberation? Where is the contemplative? Where is the man of knowledge? Where is the soul in bondage? Where is the liberated soul? My nature is unity. Where are creation and destruction? Where is the end and the means? Where is the seeker? Where is the attainment? I am one. Where is the knower? Where is knowing? Where is the known, or knowledge itself? Where is anything? Where is nothing? I am pure awareness. Where is distraction, concentration, knowledge, or delusion? Where is joy or sorrow? I am stillness. Where is the relative? Where is the transcendent? Where is happiness or misery? I am empty of thought. Where is illusion? Where is existence? Where is attachment or non-attachment? Where is person? Where is God? I am awareness. Where is activity or inactivity? Where is liberation or bondage? I am timeless, indivisible. I am self alone. Where are principles and scriptures? Where is the disciple or the teacher? Where is the reason for life? I am boundless, absolute. Where is existence or non-existence? Where is unity or duality? Nothing emanates from me. No more can be said. I really enjoy that, and I think it holds a lot of very good information in there. I think that it provides an approach. It provides an approach to life in which it's like you just take what comes and take what goes. It's gonna, because you're still here for now, and you may as well just kind of. It's very interesting because especially if you read like about Taoism and Wu Wei, effortless way, or it's very interesting how it's all interconnected and how much sense it all kind of makes together. And I just have to say that I find just dwelling on this and dwelling in this just incredibly peaceful and incredibly relaxing, and I feel very good when I do so. And I don't know, maybe I thought you guys would enjoy this as well. It's a very good one. Anyway, I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day, and I hope that you're all full of the love of God and the love of all good things. Okay, bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.